Okay, so there is a wild rumor absolutely blowing up online right now, and it involves two of Disney's biggest movies on the horizon. It's a whole story about internet whispers, digital detective work, and just how fast information moves these days. So let's just dive right in. Here's the big question, and the implications are, well, huge. Could unfinished versions of Toy Story 5 and the new live-action Moana actually be out there, months, maybe even years, before they're supposed to be released? That is the absolutely explosive claim we're going to unpack. And this is the sentence that started the entire firestorm. It's a shocking thing to read, right? It suggests a massive security breach at one of the biggest studios in the world. And look, this isn't just some random fan theory. This is a direct claim that these super secret, closely guarded projects are already out in the wild. So, a claim that big, you've got to ask, right? Where did this even come from? To really get what's going on here, we have to go straight to the source. And here we are. The whole thing started with these posts from a user on X, Twitter, named Ghosty Tongue. It all kicked off right here, with these specific posts that just set off a total chain reaction of speculation across the internet. But here's what's really interesting. The user themselves immediately says, "I'm currently investigating it." So they're not even presenting this as a sure thing. They're basically telling everyone, hey, this is a developing situation. And that right there is a super important piece of this whole puzzle. All right, so let's talk about the so-called evidence. What exactly did these posts claim was out there? Let's break down the details of this alleged leak. Now, the claim wasn't that the films were just dumped on some public website for everyone to grab. No, it's way more secretive. The post alleges that a really small, select group of people were hinting that they had access and that they were trying to sell it. And they even put a price tag on it. For the supposed Toy Story 5 leak, we're talking over $300. Now, who knows if that's real, but putting a specific number out there, well, that definitely makes the claim feel a lot more concrete, doesn't it? It adds this whole financial motive to the story. Okay, this next part is super important to understand. The source speculates that these leaks might be work prints. So what is a work print? Well, it is definitely not the finished movie. Think of it more like a rough draft, with temporary music, unfinished CGI, and maybe even scenes that end up getting cut from the final version. It's a completely raw peek behind the curtain. And here's another very specific detail that was dropped: the runtime. The user claims that these aren't just like little 30-second clips. No, they're supposedly substantial files, with both alleged leaks being over an hour long. All right, so let's just quickly recap everything the source posts are claiming. For Toy Story 5, you've got that price tag, over $300 and a runtime of more than an hour. For the live-action Moana, the theory is that it's a work print and it's also over an hour long. These specific details are pretty much the foundation for this entire rumor. And like the original poster said themselves, this is very much an ongoing situation. This is not a closed case, not by a long shot. Yeah, and this quote from them just nails that point home perfectly. They promise to share any new info they find, which just hammers home the unverified, unfolding nature of what we're all watching. It's a story that's literally developing as we speak. Okay, so you might be sitting there wondering, why are we going this deep on an unverified rumor from one social media account? It's a fair question. Why does this actually matter? Because this is about so much more than just one rumor. It's really a perfect snapshot of our modern information age. I mean, it shows just how fast a story can ignite and spread online. It also hints at a potential and kind of scary digital black market for stolen studio property. And on top of all that, it really highlights how incredibly hard it is to verify anything in real time. For the fan communities, the people who drive the excitement for these movies, a story like this can completely change their expectations long before we ever see an official trailer. And all of this leaves us with one final big thought. In a world where information and misinformation travels instantly, where do we draw the line between a compelling rumor and a confirmed reality? It's a question really worth asking the next time a story like this pops up on your feed.